So good morning students. I hope that you all are well, happy and healthy, safe at your homes. And today again I will continue the same chapter, General Organic Chemistry. By the time I had told you that how these organic molecules are represented using bond line notation. Then I told you different type of isomerism shown by organic compound. In today's discussion, we will discuss one of the most important aspects, that is called IUPAC naming. So about IUPAC naming, you have already have a fair idea from your class 10th syllabus. Here we are going to give you a detailed description. When I was teaching you in class 10th also, there I had told that what we are studying actually in class 10th is only tip of iceberg. A very detailed description of IUPAC naming is given here. And before we go to the details of IUPAC names, why it was needed to have a system of naming an organic compound and what is its advantage, this point is to be understood. In initial days, as I told you, that organic compounds were obtained from living things, either from the plant kingdom or from the animal kingdom, and in most of the cases their names were given on the basis of source from which it is obtained. Say for example, caproic acid. So in Latin, capr refers to the goat and the compound was isolated from the goat's milk. So that was named caproic acid. Butyric acid was obtained from the butter. Then methyl alcohol was first obtained by destructive distillation of wood. So it was named wood alcohol or carbiniol. In the similar way, on the basis of source from which they have been obtained, they were named. But as I told you, that number of carbon compounds is so high that giving a separate name to all of them was quite a difficult job. And in today's world, when entire world is connected with each other, this was not the case 100 years back. Informations were very slowly traveling from one corner to another corner. And now what would happen, that in one part of the world one compound was discovered which was named X, and in another part another compound was discovered but that also has got same name X. Their properties are different. Moreover, as I told you, that in case of organic molecules, molecular formula are not used. Generally structural formula was used, but the names that were given there was no correlation between them. So a need was felt that to develop a well-defined system on the basis of which we can find out the name of any compound by looking at its structure, or vice versa. By looking at the name of that very compound, we can have the idea of structure of that compound. So this was the basic idea about introduction of IUPAC. So the first advantage that IUPAC system offers is that it gives you a system by which you can write the name of a compound by looking at its structure, or you can draw the structure of compound by looking at its name. Another advantage of IUPAC system is that it is an unambiguous system. There can only one correct name for a given structure, and there can be only one correct structure for a given correct name. So ambiguity is removed with the application of IUPAC system. This IUPAC refers to International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry, IUPAC, and this is the topmost institution as far as chemistry is concerned. It has got its head office in Paris, and therein the rules was developed, rules are reviewed and changed from time to time to cater the needs of organic chemistry. So IUPAC system gives you a set of rules that enables us to write the name of given compound on the basis of its structure, and vice versa. It also enables us to draw the structure of organic compound by looking at its IUPAC name. In the beginning of this discussion, when I started discussing about organic chemistry with you, I told that organic chemistry is the branch of chemistry that deals with the study of hydrocarbons and its derivatives, wherein I told you that hydrocarbons are those substances, are those compounds which are only made up of carbon and hydrogen, and their derivatives are those substances which are formed by the replacement of one or more hydrogen atoms by any other atom or by any other group. So whatsoever is the present situation of an organic compound, it is believed that originally it was an hydrocarbon only, and from that parent hydrocarbon it has came to its current condition by replacement of its one or more hydrogen atoms by other atoms or groups. And the same thing is taken into consideration for writing the name in IUPAC system, and that is why IUPAC system is also called as substitutive nomenclature. Means, for writing the name of an organic compound by IUPAC system, first parent hydrocarbon is identified and its name is written, then modifications in that hydrocarbon is written either before to its name or after to its name. Say for example, if I write two bromo propane 1 ol. So this is the propane is the name of parent hydrocarbon. Then at one position there is a ol, and at two position there is a bromo. So we had identified this parent hydrocarbon, we had written its name, and we had shown the modifications, either some part of this modification after the name of parent hydrocarbon and some part before to the parent hydrocarbon, and that is why this IUPAC system is called as substitutive nomenclature. IUPAC name of a given organic compound has got 4 parts, and let us try to understand these parts one by one. This has got a part which is called prefix, then it has got root word, then it has suffix 1, and finally it has got suffix 2. So these are the 4 parts of IUPAC name of any compound. Now these 2 parts, these 2 components are essential components, and first and fourth parts are auxiliary components. Means what? These 2 components, root word and suffix 1, must be present in the name of any organic compound, and these parts may present or may not be present. Now what these components represent? Now this root word represents number of carbon atoms present in parent chain. As I told you that IUPAC system is treated as substitutive nomenclature, and in which it is believed that compound in its current situation is a modification of some parent hydrocarbon. So the first step is the identification of that parent carbon, that parent hydrocarbon, and that parent hydrocarbon is identified by selecting a parent chain. Number of carbon atoms that are present in this parent chain is called as root word, and depending on the number of carbon atoms, different roots are used for this purpose. If carbon atom is 1, root word is used as meth, 2 eth, 3 prop, 4 but, 5 pent, 6 hex, 7 hept, 8 oct, 9 non, and 10 dec. So if the number of carbon atoms is 3, root word used is prop, 6 hex, 9 non, 2 eth, and a general word alk is used throughout the organic chemistry to represent root word. Here one thing we have to keep in mind, that this represents number of carbon atoms in selected parent chain. This may differ from the total number of carbon atoms present in the compound. Then suffix 1, it is the next essential component, suffix 1 represents the nature of selected parent chain. If the selected parent chain is saturated, then we use ane. And if it is unsaturated, having a carbon-carbon double bond, then we use ene. And if we have a triple bond, then we use I. This term saturated and unsaturated is to be understood again. If in a given organic compound all carbon atoms are joined together with the help of single bonds only, then given compound is called as a saturated compound. Then given compound is called as a saturated compound. And if at least one multiple bond, that is at least one, either a carbon-carbon double bond or a carbon-carbon triple bond is present, then given compound is called as an unsaturated compound. So this alk combined with ane gives you the term alkane. This alk combined with ene gives you term alkene, and this alk combined with ine gives you alkyne. And this alk represents the number of carbon atoms. So if there are 2 carbon atoms and has got a carbon-carbon double bond, the name will become ethene. Ethene, ethene. If there are 4 carbon atoms and there is 1 triple bond, so for 4 carbon atoms we have got root word but, and for triple bond ine, so the name will become butyne. Butyne. If there are 6 carbon atoms and there are no multiple bonds, our carbon atoms are joined with the help of single bonds only, then the root word is hex and primary suffix is ane, so the name becomes hexane. And that is how these terms alkane, alkene, alkyne has came in light. Then we come to the suffix 2. This suffix 2 in the name represents functional group present in organic compound. So what is a functional group? It is an atom or a group of atom that is responsible for the characteristic properties of given organic compound. Functional group, there are so many functional groups, and for all functional groups there is a different suffix that is used. For example, if functional group is OH, then all is used. If it is CHO, then all is used. If functional group is COOH, then oic acid is used. And finally we come to the fourth part, prefix. Prefix is the part of compound which is outside to the selected parent chain and is not a functional group. Example, CH3, methyl, CH2CH3, ethyl. A general word, alkyl group is used. Halogen atoms, halo group. If it is Cl, then it is called fluoro. If it is Br, then it is called bromo. If it is F, it is called fluoro. then NO2 group, nitro group, or OR, it is called alkoxy group. So there are certain groups or certain group of atoms which when present in the compound they behaves as functional group. They determines the characteristic properties of an organic compound, but they are not treated as functional groups. For example, this haloatoms, chlorine, bromine, iodine, fluorine, these are the elements which when present in given compound they are responsible for the characteristic properties. Their presence differentiate or their presence changes the properties of given compound. But as far as the IUPAC system, for the purpose of IUPAC name of the compound, they are not treated as functional groups. They are treated as substituents. Their name of substituent is written before to that of root word. All these components of a given or name of a given IUPAC name is written in this sequence only. First prefix is written if it is present. If it is not present, then it is skipped. Then we write root word and suffix one. As I told you that this is essential component, so it must be present there. It is present there. So their name has to be written. And finally, if suffix 2, that is functional group, is present, it is written in the last. So all the parts of a given organic compound is written in this sequence only. So this is brief idea about IUPAC naming. Number of carbon compound is so large that giving a different name by which it is identified and by which it is known throughout the world is quite a difficult job. And to overcome this problem, a set of rules are devised, a set of rules are discovered, with the help of which we can write the name of any organic compound by looking at its structure, and we can draw its structure by looking at its name. And this is an unambiguous system. There is no chance of error. If you have properly applied the rule, then there is only one correct name for any given correct structure, or vice versa. There can only be one correct structure for any given correct IUPAC name. IUPAC system is treated as or is called as substitutive nomenclature, in which given organic compound is supposed to be a hydrocarbon, and for writing the name of that compound, first that parent hydrocarbon is identified, name of that parent hydrocarbon is written, and modifications are mentioned either before to the name, some part of it written before to the name of parent hydrocarbon, and some part of these modifications are written in the later part of name of hydrocarbon. So I am quite sure that you are able to understood the concepts. I request all of you, after going through these videos, must write your feedback that what are the parts you are able to understand, what are the parts that are needed to be revised, that are needed to be explained once again in a different way so that you can understand. And again I emphasize on this fact that understanding this general organic chemistry part is very, very important. You understand it efficiently, the remaining part will become easy for you to understand. So with this, in our next lecture, I will explain that what is the procedure, what are the important rules that are applied for writing names. By that time, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.